Hi.
Hi, I'm Brandy. Oh, and this is Emma.
She's like, you're talking.
You want to be a part of Beautiful and Beloved.
You are beautiful. Look how cute she is. I'm Amber, and we're just so glad that you guys are here with us today. We are sitting outside on a beautiful Colorado day. It's what I love so much about Colorado is that there can be like snow all over the ground, and it's still like gorgeous, and you still want to be outside.
Yeah, and it'll be amazing today. It was actually warmer earlier. It looks a lot colder because I'm wearing my scarf, but I got chilly. And then we could have like a blizzard tomorrow. Who knows?
True story.
We don't have that in our forecast, though. Praise Jesus. So we are glad to be with you again, and we just went on a little bit of a walked about 3 miles, and just talked about what we're learning. And so we thought maybe you guys might be processing some of the same things we are.
Yeah, like always, we just want to talk to you guys about what we're learning about our own belovedness and our own beauty, and really believing that for ourselves and believing that for the world. And then, and then we love hearing from you too. So if you want to text or email us after this, we'd love that.
Let us know.
Yeah.
So one of the things we were talking about today is, and I'll let Amber share more because it's like really what she's been processing, but it kind of comes down to the idea of comparison. Again, like we talk about this a lot as women and as moms, that just this world is so full of comparison, and I think part of it is because we're just lost.
Yes.
And so we're looking for people to follow and trying to always figure out, like, are they doing it well? And if they are, should I be doing that? Yeah. And if they're not, should I be doing something different? So I think comparison a lot of times isn't, like, we're not trying to be all judgy. We're just trying to figure life out. And you do that by looking at different things. And so we look at other moms and we think, oh, wait, maybe that's how I'm supposed to be doing it. And then start judging ourselves.
Right. If we're not good at it.
Yes.
The way they're good at it, or if we're not.
Or we think we're doing it awesome, so we start judging them and think, like, well, you should do it how I do it. And yes, particularly when it comes to
the internets.
The internets. I love how you always say the S, like the internets. Multiple internet.
Well, I mean, it's true.
The World Wide Web. Right here, social media has made it a lot easier to compare ourselves to each other. And now there's whole conversations about then the internet itself. And now we compare ourselves to each other on how we use the internet too. Like, we're not even just using it to compare our normal lives, but now we're even comparing our internet usage.
Right.
And what do we do? And what are we supposed to do? And what does a good follower of the King do?
Right.
What is a good... What do you do when you're beloved? And that can get confusing because we're all different.
Right.
Shocking news.
What we were talking about is that I was telling Brandy that I think I'm going to put the internet, more or less. Which
not this.
Is not something that I have, which is
quit.
Something I have literally been talking about for years.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe my response was,
you always
talk about this all the time.
Here's the thing. I'm not great at forming deep and intimate relationships via the internet. So I'm not great. I hate texting. Actually, like, that makes Brandy insane.
It's
not
shocking
a
we can be friends because of this.
Right. And like, I don't comment on things on Facebook, not because I don't love people and not because I'm not excited for them, but just because
it's just not how you're wired.
Not how I'm wired.
Not communication.
And and I don't post a lot. And so I have had this business, Beautiful and Beloved, for almost 3 years now, and I really felt like I could build it via Instagram and the internet because I've seen so many people
to the other people who are doing it well. Yeah,
and it's just not working, and it's made me frustrated, and it's made me hurt, and it's made me angry, and I have had hurt feelings, and I have just been kind of devastated by a lack of being able to deeply communicate with people and deeply connect with people the way I see others doing it via the internet. And I feel like God has been putting it on my heart forever to stop trying, because
a long time.
a long time. Because that's just not how he made me, and I just keep going back to it because I keep thinking, but that's how everybody does it.
Right.
So how come I can't do it that way? But I'm learning, and I feel really strongly like God is saying, look around you, like look next to you, look.
Because it's not that you're bad at forming relationships.
No,
that's not the deal. You're amazing at good, intimate,
right,
meaningful connection in person.
And I'm also missing out on those because I am working so hard to be on
to be something you're not.
Something I'm not.
Yeah.
So I feel really strongly like I'm just called to like form a really deep, intimate, beautiful, and beloved community here where I am, and I think that still via these YouTube videos is still really doing that because I feel so many of you when they're done watching, text me and email me, and we can talk about what you're processing together, and that feels really like true to who I am. And having people to my house for coffee and yoga and like all those things, that's really true to who I am. And so that's just where I need to be. That's where God has called me to, and that's where I'm going to find I can reach the kingdom in the most powerful way.
Right.
But you're the opposite.
Yeah, I'm like totally the opposite. Well, I mean,
she does have really good relationships. You have
in
really
person,
intimate
yes.
in-person relationships.
But I also, just for no credit of my own, but like I'm created with a pretty wide bandwidth. Like I can do relationship with a large amount of people, probably more people than most.
I would say yes.
And I connect really well via social media. I have people who are like best friends that I literally only know on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram.
Sometimes when Brandy works my booth, like at events, she makes Facebook friends in like my booth. Like people become her friend on Facebook.
Yeah, I was in the Amsterdam airport last month and on the way to Africa, and somebody stopped me and they're like, "Are you Brandy? We're Facebook friends." Because I do actually really connect well via social media. Thank God, as a single mom, because texting is like my life. Like after the kids go to bed, I do have adult conversation. Thank you to social media. And I love texting, and I get to walk people through trauma and through healing prayer and deep, meaningful things via the internet. And most of my job happens on the internet. We raise money for Beauty for Ashes Uganda via Facebook almost exclusively. But I also have felt the comparison thing. We don't really compare ourselves to each other. We don't really struggle with that. But in general, you hear moms in particular, but women in general, talk about like how we use the internet. And so a lot of times when a woman is called away from the internet to more intimate community, what they say is, because that's not real, and this is if you don't do this, you're going to miss everyone in your life.
But I think that
notice that you did not hear that from Amber.
No, because saying that would mean that that all the people who have formed meaningful relationships via the internet, like they are not real. But I think also people who do say that from a place of feeling inferior, because like me, they're like, well,
we should do this, and
have a hard time forming relationships that way.
And really, kind of that's why we wanted to talk about it today, to get to the point where each of us says like, hey, this is how I'm made. Like, you go do you. Be who God created you to be, and live in that so confidently. They're like, this is who I'm made to be, so that if anybody else is different, it's not like, oh, well, that's not an affront to who I am. Right. That's just who you are. Like, and we can celebrate that, and that's why we adore each other. Like, we're very much alike. You've seen that a lot in a lot of things we do. But we're also very different in a lot of other ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we celebrate those ways because we need both.
Yes. God made us all different. He gave us all different parts of his creative and incredible pieces of him. We are all bearers of his image. And so to deny what he gave us is to renounce the gifts that he wants to give us as well. So,
and he's so multifaceted.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing we miss about God when we're talking about the image of God. We see it very much as like a 2D image.
Right,
but he's infinite. So multifaceted. So he's both. He's always the both and. So you're not like created by like God if you're an extrovert and not created like God if you're an introvert. Because God is both.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
he's both.
Scientific and artistic.
Yes.
He's like, he is all things, and he gave.
Yes.
But
and
not
what if we
any
really
one of
got
us
that?
is all things. Like,
Right.
he didn't give
I'm not
you
all things,
his all.
obviously.
Right, exactly. So
That's why
need
we
to
need each
embrace,
other.
yeah, the pieces that he gave us, and then we need to embrace the pieces that he
Yep.
gave everybody else.
Yes.
And we need to look at them, and we need to say, hey, that in you is
Yep.
not in me, and it is beautiful.
Amazing.
And amazing.
And I celebrate it.
And I celebrate it
Yep.
without taking away from what is mine. Because
Yes.
they are both and as well.
Right. So how do we get to that place where we don't shame ourselves?
Right.
Like Amber had to say, like, it's okay that this is not how I'm made because she's like kick butt at connecting in person.
But
I'm like,
wait,
she's
what?
so good at speaking in person. She's spoken to like 25 MOPS groups. Like every time I turn around, she's like speaking to a MOPS group. I'm like, wow, you've got like a market on the MOPS groups. She's amazing at how she's created to be, but she had to stop shaming herself for that
Right.
and own it.
Right.
And so how do we own who we are? Like, this is how I'm made. I am made, and I'm going to be on the internet a lot. Maybe more than a lot of people.
Right.
Because that's how God has told me to connect
Right.
in this season, at least. So how do we not shame ourselves? And then how do we not shame others because of it?
Right.
But I think actually it starts with not shaming ourselves. I think
I was
if
going
we
to say,
live
we don't
loved,
actually have an answer
we're
to
not
that
even-
question. We just are just going to say that, like,
let's do
you
the
need
work.
to, you need to see, you need to sit back and you need to
Mhm.
examine yourself. You need to examine the way things make you feel. If you're on Facebook and you feel like crap,
Yep.
then you probably shouldn't be on Facebook.
Right.
Like, that's just probably true.
Right.
And if you are on Facebook and you feel amazing and you feel like you're connecting and you feel like you're growing the kingdom of God and you feel
Yep.
like you're making disciples and you feel like you are touching
Learning and growing
people's
and
lives,
inspiring. Yeah.
then be on
Then do it.
Facebook. Like, do it and do it well and devote time to it because that's beautiful.
Yes, and I think when we are fully confident in ourselves, we are not going to have to worry about not shaming others.
Right.
Because it's going to be natural. Because I
Right.
think when we're judging others, when we're shaming others, it's coming out of a place of not living loved.
Absolutely. Yes.
So go figure out how you look like the image of God. And we're not just in social media.
No,
Like, sure,
that was,
maybe
like,
think
our
about that.
point
That's
today,
but
but-
what we're doing. But figure it out, whether it's how you connect with people, whether it's how you mother, whether it's how you act in relationships with others, your friendships, or whatever it is, figure out how you're made and own it, girl.
Yeah.
And boy, there's men who watch these.
There are.
Own it and love it and dive into it and feel
good.
his pleasure. That's what our prayer is for you this week.
Yes.
Feel his pleasure that he made you and he adores you because you are,
Beautiful.
and you are so beloved beyond your wildest dreams.
Yes.
So sink
Thank you,
into
God.
it and enjoy it this week.
Yep. We love you.